Hey everybody, Sean from Movie Assault here, and it's time once again for another movie review that you guys helped me pick. And this time out, it is Bill and Ted Face the Music from 2020. I have it as part of this three-film Blu-ray collection, which also features the original film, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Um, Bill and Ted Face the Music was directed by Dean Perisot, who also did Galaxy Quest. Was written by the original authors of the other two movies, Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon. It stars, of course, Keanu Reeves as Ted, Alex Winters as Bill, Samara Weaving as Thea, and Jack Haven, billed here as Bridget Lundy Payne, as Billy. Um, you all know probably, hopefully, who Bill and Ted are. In Bill and Ted Face the Music, we join the now middle-aged pair of earnest but somewhat clueless dorks who are played by Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter. They come to the realization that they haven't written the song that is supposed to unite humanity, which is their destiny, as they're told at the end of Bogus Journey. But now it's 2020 rather than 1991. They're middle-aged dads. They're married. And now humanity's existence depends on them as they realize they only have 77 minutes to write the song that's going to unite the universe. So, faced with the challenge of doing that, they decide they're just going to use the good old time traveling phone booth and travel into the future and get the song from their future selves because they obviously have humanity still around. Obviously, they need to get it. But they find out that that might be a bit more complicated than they thought. And their daughters, Thea and Billy, try to help them by assembling a band of historical musicians from the past to help them out. I really, really wanted to enjoy this movie. I really loved Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Those are both sort of comfort movies for me. I watch them as often as I can. If they're on TV, I will stop and watch them. More Excellent Adventure than Bogus Journey, but they're still a lot of fun. And I had high hopes for this one. The humor is the same, perhaps a little too similar, but this time out it rings a little bit hollow. Um, there's nothing glaringly wrong with the movie. It's just a bit predictable. In fact, about 10 minutes into this movie, I kind of figured out what was going to happen or how it was going to wind up. I wasn't too far off. And that's not even that big of a strike against it. It is a Bill and Ted movie, after all. It's not going to reshape the universe in terms of storytelling. I think what I found lacking this time around was a sense of originality that was present in the first two films, more so the first film than the second film, even though the second film still uh, wasn't feeling old yet because it was only 2 years after the original had been made. Um, but by now, the time traveling phone booth and the act of gathering personalities from the past to solve a problem that exists in the present, it's a little stale. Aside from a killer robot named Dennis, there isn't much fresh here. And that's kind of sad. Sure, Bill and Ted have daughters, and they seem to have the exact same personalities as their fathers. You'd think they'd do something a little bit more with that. The daughters do seem a little bit more intelligent than their fathers, but they essentially have the same personality and mannerisms. But that said, there are still a few funny sequences in the movie, including Bill and Ted running into their future selves in both prison and in the old folks' home. And I have to admit that I laughed out loud more often than I thought I would. And usually it's just at random lines or throwaway jokes. But even though this movie doesn't really live up to the predecessors, I still think it's pleasant enough, it's unoffensive enough, and lighthearted enough to be a time waster. It's worth seeing at least once. I can't knock it too hard. It's not original, but it's got that same familiar, earnest, lighthearted, and charmingly stupid sense of humor that shows that its heart is in the right place, even though this time around it probably wasn't necessary to make a third film. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Not the worst movie I've ever seen, but really, if you're a Bill and Ted fan, you'll get a kick out of it. But it's not as good as the first two, and I didn't really expect it to be. So I'm not entirely surprised at my rating on the film. But thanks for picking it for me. As always, you can always vote in my community post. I always post a poll every week based on what week of the month it is, what type of things I'm asking for. And the poll that will be up when this video is up is I'm looking for a newer movie to review. So it'll be something from 2020 to now. So go ahead and vote on that. Thank you for voting on this one. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please think about giving me a thumbs up and a subscribe if you haven't done so already. And as always, if you've stuck around to the end of the video, I appreciate your attention span. And I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy. See ya.